Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here today. It's been a crazy day. I worked really late, hours later than normal because I had a big project. And yeah, it's the last day of the challenge. So I feel like I have to check in. I have to talk to you guys and see how the challenge was going for you. And I also need to let you know about something we can do next step. So I have got my eyes over here on the comments. So if you have questions along the way, let me know. Last time Jim was kind of producing everything for me and I was just trying to cook. And this time I am wanting to see what's happening. So I was like, I need to be able to talk to my people. So hopefully you can all hear me and that you got my email just a few minutes ago to tune in, and let's get going. So we just finished the 7-day next step challenge, and the goal was to help you take the next step on your plant-based diet. So if you were just starting out, that meant just kind of figuring out what to eat. If you have been going at this for a few years, we have a lot of people that have been plant-based for years and we're just trying to struggle to find their groove. Like, it wasn't easy. Like, they still had to work for it. And I mean, I know what that's like. I totally get it. And I just want to help simplify it. So it was kind of fun when we can all do this together, because then you have people cheering you on. You have people who are doing the exact same thing as you. And it's almost like wearing a team. Like when you're out and about, like back when we were out and about and you saw somebody with like a jersey for your favorite team, you were like, oh yeah, there's my people. In this challenge, we found our people. We're all doing this together. So I hope you were successful. If not, just keep at it. Keep going, because you don't get successful at something, most of us anyway, the first time. And you don't get successful by just giving up. You have to just keep going, keep trying, keep working hard at it. I know, how there's some people who everything just kind of comes easily? That's not most of us. Most of us really got to work and try and keep going. So I have some information I want to share with you today, and feel free to ask questions about it. I will, share more later on, but just with it being the last day of the challenge, you may be thinking, okay, well, what do I do now? Do I just need to repeat this meal plan? Do I have to now start looking for new recipes every day and figuring out what to make? I was just thinking about something earlier. I thought about, what's for dinner? And I thought, we have our meal plan. We know what's for dinner. And then I thought about all those memes, and I was like, somebody needs to make a what's for dinner meme, and it getting on the moms or dad's last nerve with their kid asking what's for dinner, because I know that when we have 2 little guys at home that are elementary school age, but we actually have a lot more kids that are grown. And when all the kids were at home, at one point we had 5 children under the same roof, and they would come home from school and start asking what's for dinner, and it would drive me insane. I was like, we're going to eat. Have you ever not eaten? Stop bothering me about it. I just couldn't take it. So if that's you, then I think this information will be really helpful. So let me just pull up something for you. I want to introduce you to kind of a passion project of mine, plant-based diet meal plans. And, I've been making meal plans for years. I used to put a meal plan every week on my plantbasedfamily.com. And it was tough because I would put so much work and effort and love and trying to figure out the best things for these meal plans. And people loved them. I know they did. They would tell me, they would thank me for them. But it was like all that effort would go into this blog post that people would read once and then they were ready for the next thing. And, it's hard because they didn't always have all the tools right there. Like, they didn't have a shopping list. They didn't have all the recipes in a nice little bundle where they could just follow it each day. And sometimes I would try to simplify and just send people PDFs so it was easier. But for a long time now, it's been on our hearts to create a weekly meal plan subscription. And that's what we have here. It's just a weekly membership where you can sign up and then you get a new plant-based meal plan in your inbox every week. And we're hoping that will help you just simplify your week. And you don't have to worry about what's for dinner. And you can put it on your fridge. And when your kids ask what's for dinner, you just point to the fridge. And you don't even have to think about it. You just get your groceries ordered. You know what to cook what day. And it's simple, right? So we actually planned, we were working really hard on getting this out to you a couple years ago when my son got sick, and then everything went out the window. But, we have gotten back to kind of our normal routine. We're all doing great, feeling great, we're eating well. And we were like, now's the time. We just know it. There's so many people who reach out to us and they're like, we want to do this, but we're struggling. And, this is our answer. This is our way of trying to help and try to make a difference. So these weekly meal plans will be brand new in your inbox each week. They're all going to be oil-free. That's hard for me when I'm looking for new recipe inspiration. So many recipes are full of oil. And I'm not talking about you just, spray the pan so that everything doesn't stick. I'm talking about like a fourth cup of oil, a half cup of oil in a single recipe. And it's like, I can't deal with that. I couldn't function with that much oil. My arteries are very thankful that I skipped some of those recipes because I don't thrive that way. So they're all oil-free. They're all simple recipes. If you've been following my PlantBasedFamily.com, my recipes are easy. I don't like complicated. They're all delicious and they're all flexible because I don't want to just not be able to make something if I don't have an ingredient. Like, I need to be able to adapt it. I need to be able to do something different. If my week gets crazy, I don't want a whole bunch of food to spoil because I don't have time to cook. Like, I need a good combination of recipes that I can wait on or that I can cook. It'll be easy. So that's what we're doing. That's what we've got going on here. So if you're interested, you can go right now to plantbaseddietmealplans.com. If you got an email from me this morning, there's a link in it there, and I will put a link in the comments here over here in just a moment. But this is a membership. So you sign up and you are a member. You have a lot of benefits as a member because you get that new meal plan, but you also get a batch cooking guide because we want it to be as easy as possible for you. You also get a shopping list. And that shopping list is going to be similar to what you saw in the challenge. You're going to see what produce you need, what spices you need. You're going to see what pantry items. You're going to see where it's at. And then you can easily go check and see if you already have that ingredient before you go to the store or before you put in a grocery order. Also, this is something I'm really excited about, and it's recommendation for non-plant-based family members. So I know so many of you eat plant-based and you are cooking your plant-based meal and then you're cooking your family's meal and they want their meat and cheese and eggs and all of that. I see you. I know how frustrating it is to have to cook all of that extra food because you love your family and you want them to you want to have a nice family dinner. You want everybody to have food to eat. You don't want a lot of complaining, but you also don't want to do that much cooking, or at least I would not want to do that much cooking. We had our oldest son live with us part of this year, right around the time that the pandemic was hitting. He had moved in with us, and he's so easygoing. He's great. Like, he never, not once, ever complained about anything. He was always grateful for anything we made, but I knew that he liked meat and dairy. Thankfully, he was old enough to cook for himself, but he also liked to cook. So he would try to cook a version for me that I could eat, and then he would have whatever he wanted. But we would just want to make this easy, so you're not trying to figure out how to do this. So every recipe in this meal plan, well, I don't know, maybe like oatmeal or something won't have a variation, but every dinner recipe is going to have a variation to where you can easily add foods that your family will like to this main plant-based meal, and they will not feel deprived. They will feel like they are seen and that you understand their needs and that you're catering to their needs, when in reality, you are making an incredible plant-based meal that you love, that is going to make you feel great, that you'll just feel all the benefits you feel when you eat well. Like, for me, the thing that makes me feel the best right now, it's like my go-to meal. It was in the challenge. It's not on my blog. It's not on my plantbasedfamily.com yet, but it was in the challenge, and it's that black bean sweet potato salad. I don't know what it is, but man, when I eat that, I feel so good. I feel like I could do anything. I feel strong. I feel light, like I feel light on my feet. I don't feel like weighed down. My stomach doesn't hurt. Like, I don't have any aches and pains. Like, I just feel great. And we want to fill the meal plan up with recipes just like that are going to make you feel great. But that also, with small changes, you will have a recipe that your family loves and they will feel like it was made for them. That's my goal. I feel like it's a tall order. I'm up to the challenge. And I know that this is kind of like, what is it? Like, some people aren't going to be a fan of that, because I know that many of you aren't only plant-based for your health, but you also love the animals. And that is totally valid and warranted. And I think it's awesome that you are like that. But for so many other families, they have this constant struggle. Imagine, and maybe you don't have to imagine, but there was always this ongoing fight in your family about something. And in this case, maybe it's about food, because your family feels like you're not giving them what they want. Now, I'm not saying your family can't cook for themselves. I don't know your family and your situation. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they can cook their own thing. I know there's a lot of times when our kids get their own food, and it's not because I'm not making like food that they could eat, is because Jim and I like spicy food, and they don't like spicy food. So there's a lot of times to where I'm like, we're having spicy soup or chili or whatever, like make your own. And they're fine with that. They have their list of stuff that they can make themselves, and that's what they do. Easy peasy. But I know that not all families have that kind of same situation going. So if your family is in a situation to where it's an ongoing battle, give this a try, because it may make a huge difference for you. I hope it will. That's my goal. That's my plan, is I want to make it easier. And eventually, maybe your family will realize how much they love the food. Maybe they don't need the meat or dairy quite so much. And it would be a great and easy transition to plant-based when they're ready. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I want to hear from you how it works in your family. Okay, so let's take a look at the next step. I want to let you know what you're going to get. If you sign up, if you become a member, you're going to get a dinner meal plan. It's very similar to what we provided in the challenge, because we wanted you to kind of have a chance to look at it. But you're going to get a dinner meal plan. This is going to be for 5 dinners. And the reason we're doing 5 is because we know sometimes, you don't want to plan to cook every day. You don't want to have recipes that you're buying all the ingredients for if you're not going to cook every day. This gives you flexibility. It lets you eat leftovers. It lets you change your plan if you're craving something. And it also lets you eat out. I have the option to order takeout or something if that's something that you and your family enjoy doing. Like, you don't want to have a recipe with a ton of ingredients that you have to make when your family is just, really wanting to order Chinese. So with this meal plan, you'll get the plan on what to eat when. You'll also get the recipes. These recipes are going to be a mix between quick meals and prepped meals. And we do that so that you will have that flexibility. So just like in this last week, we had a number of things that were prepped on batch cook day. And then we had a few meals that were so easy, you could just kind of throw together, like the pasta meal, like the tostada meal, things like that you can have things in the freezer, in the pantry. And if you decide not to make them, they can stay there, wait until another week, and you're not going to waste any food. Additionally, you're going to get ingredient substitutions. So if you have food allergies, if there's recipes or foods that you just really don't like, and also storage instructions. So you're not going to be wondering, how am I supposed to store this so that it still tastes good? And we'll let you know, like, if there's a recipe that's not going to be good reheated, we'll say, eat this all this a day, or only make half, or whatever, because we don't want you to waste food. There's not enough food. There's wasting food takes too much money, and it wastes your time, and we just don't want to do it. Okay, let's take a look at the next thing. Okay, so I mentioned that you get a batch cook guide, and this, I say, usually is what you'll get, because every week is different, and each week the batch cook guide is going to vary based on what's on the meal plan. So normally you can expect to have a big soup, or it could be a big casserole, could be like a chili or something like that. But it's like a big one pot kind of meal that you're going to be able to eat on for multiple meals. So you can have it for dinner, you can have it for leftovers for lunch. And if you're someone who doesn't like leftovers, or you have a small family and you're not going to be able to eat that much, you can just hack the recipe because you'll see how many servings it's for. Also, there's normally a breakfast and or a snack. So this last week we had breakfast rice and we had a big baked oatmeal. We already have the meal plan almost ready to share with those of you who've already signed up, and so you'll be getting it soon. But we're already putting plans in to see what we want to make for those breakfast and or snack recipes. And if you can always make those on the batch cook day, or if it's something you're not wanting right then, you can just pass and just have whatever you normally have. It's easy. We also are going to make versatile components so that you can mix and match things. Like maybe we'll batch cook beans and potatoes one day, and you'll use those in different forms. You'll just have to wait and see. You'll have to wait until you get your first meal plan to see some of the fun things we have planned. And also you'll get the plan to save time during the week because you're not going to have to cook meals every day. You're not going to be having to spend an hour cooking every day because we batch that up, and on the weekend we end up spending a lot of that time. So this last weekend, when I did my live meal plan or live batch cook for everyone, it took a little less than 2.5 hours. And I would say it would have taken 2 or less had I not been chatting all along the way. Also, normally our family chips in, so Jim will help me cut things, and we'll be cooking together so that we can get it done really quick. So this isn't something that's going to take you all day, especially if you have helpers, which I highly recommend, because you can get helpers to chop, to peel, to do dishes, just to help get out the next container of things you need. And it's a great way to just do something together to talk about the food. And if you have kids, they may not like a soup that has a bunch of veggies mixed in, but if they are helping you chop them up, then maybe they are getting just more exposure to those ingredients, and it'll help them become more curious. Maybe they can try it raw, and maybe they'll like that more than it cooked. With my kids, they prefer raw veggies over cooked veggies in most circumstances. So that's just another way that I can help expose them to more foods. And this membership, this is probably what you're waiting on. It's $14.99 per month. And you're charged once a month, and you can cancel anytime. So $14.99 a month, I know for some people can seem like a lot, and for others it seems like nothing. We're all in a different place, but really, it's about what you would spend on Netflix if you're on Netflix. For me, it's about how much we spend in grocery delivery fees, not counting tips. It's the price of a couple of Starbucks if you go out for coffee. We can't feed our family even the junkiest fast food meal for a family of 4. If I wanted to get a good meal at like a good restaurant, it would be about that. But I know for sure that by making a meal plan and batch cooking and knowing exactly what ingredients I need for the meals I'm going to make, I can save $14.99 a month. By just being a little more strategic with prepping food, instead of being like, oh man, I forgot to thaw this out, I forgot to cook those beans, I forgot to do this or that, I forgot to go to the store, now we have to go get takeout. Man, that money is gone. So this may not be for everybody, but definitely consider if it's for you and your family, because it's not as much money as a lot of people would miss, but it may make a huge difference for you and your family. And you can cancel anytime, but you can't sign up anytime. Here's the thing. Doing all the administrative work and getting everybody signed up and all the parts that we have to do takes a lot of time and energy. And I would rather spend my energy making the meal plans, testing the recipes, helping people, take that next step, figuring out what kind of support that they need to help, people feel great plant-based. So I am having a very short enrollment period. Like today, I thought it'd be a normal work day, but ended up going a couple hours over normal because I just was working on a really big project and I just really wanted to get it done. So when I got off work at 6:15, I knew I needed to send an email out. I knew I needed to get stuff so I could check in with you guys. I definitely didn't want to have to worry about what was for dinner. And maybe you're in the same situation. So I think that this could help you, but you have to act quick. Monday is the last day to sign up. And there's not going to be oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to sign up. Can I get back in? We're not going to do that. We're just going to be done. It's on the website, and you can sign up now and join the people who have already signed up. Once you do sign up, you will get a couple of bonuses that we're pretty excited about. It's a big list of snack ideas and a big list of breakfast ideas. And that's because we're not putting a bunch of different breakfasts and snacks. We're going to have those in the meal plan, in the batch cook plan, but that's not what this meal plan is about. But we want to give you plenty of options if you need them. And you know what? If we have a lot of people sign up who are just like, please, we want breakfast, then maybe we'll put breakfast because we really want to meet your needs. But that's not something that we're planning on doing right now. So that's why we have these 2 bonuses for you. If you sign up now, you get these immediately. As soon as you get all signed up, you create like a username and ID, password on the site, and then you can go into the members area and download these. You'll also get them emailed to you. So you'll be able to get them whichever way works best for you. So if you miss that, you can get on the wait list, but we don't know when we're going to open it back up. It may not be until January. It's not going to be a regular thing. So keep that in mind. Now, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know, and I'll be sure to answer those. But I did get a few questions already. I sent out an email this morning to let everybody on the challenge know that this was an option for you. And a few questions came in. So let's take a look at those real quick. Okay, one was, are all these recipes already on my plantbasedfamily.com? No, they're not. A lot of the recipes are, because I've been making recipes since 2011, plant-based recipes since 2011. I was always kind of a recipe maker ever since I started cooking. I was always trying to adapt things and change it so that we would like it, to use all the ingredients. For a while, I was really into how can we eat the cheapest possible and how can I use everything in my pantry without having to go to the store. So I was kind of in both of those camps for a little while. But yeah, these recipes are not all on my plantbasedfamily.com. Some of them will be, but not all of them. And I will be, especially the newer recipes, I'll probably put them in the membership first before they make their way to the blog. Next, I have food allergies. Will this work for me? That's a really great question. And it'll depend on your food allergies. So there's certain foods that we use a lot. And in the meal plan, I would say we use a lot of rice. So if you're allergic to rice, you may have things that you already normally substitute for that, and you would, be fine. I use a lot of onion. If you can't have onion in most circumstances, you could just leave it out. If a recipe has wheat or gluten, we will give a recommendation to make it gluten-free. If it has peanuts, we'll make a recommendation for a peanut-free version. Most of the dinners aren't going to have a lot of peanuts, but like my pad thai does, and you're going to see that on the meal plan because people love it, and it's a quick and easy food, and it can easily be made into like a pantry and freezer meal, so you don't have to have the fresh ingredients on hand. So yes, I think in most cases it will work for you. If you have some very particular circumstance, or if you have 20 food allergies, then I would say it may not work if you have just a very extensive list. But again, it'll depend on what those are. So you can send me an email and I'll be happy to let you know. I'm not going to just try to like make a sale here. I want to make sure only the people who this is going to benefit are going to get it. So just let me know what your allergies are. If you just have if you're allergic to eggs, no problem. No eggs in these recipes. If you're allergic to dairy, no problem. No dairy in these recipes. If you are allergic to olives, there might be a recipe with olives in it, but you can leave those out. So I think for most people, this will definitely work. And in most circumstances, we already put in the notes of the recipe what you can do, what you need to take out, what you can substitute to make the recipes work. And we include that just in general. We say, oh, you're out of maple syrup, you can use dates. Or, oh, you're out of, applesauce, here's how you can make some. Or are you out of whatever? I can't even think of any more examples, but because I don't like to have to go to the store for one thing. That's just not going to happen. I just can't do it, can't bring myself to do that. But in most circumstances, we can let you know. And you're going to get your recipes, your meal plan, your shopping list, before the weekend, so that you have the weekend to kind of prepare for the next week. So if you ever have questions about it, you can just shoot me an email and I'll let you know, oh, I didn't realize, that people are allergic to this one thing. So yeah, here, try this instead. Or maybe I'll just send you a whole different recipe. Who knows? Okay. Let's take a look at the next question. See, that is the allergies. The next one is, do I need any special kitchen equipment? I would say no. You need to be able to cook. You need to be able to cook things on a stove and in an oven. You don't have to have an Instant Pot, although we do use it often. And if you have an Instant Pot, you'll definitely enjoy the Instant Pot versions, but I can also send you the stovetop versions for most of those things, or the oven version. So the things that we typically make a lot in the Instant Pot are like grains, beans, potatoes, things that can easily be cooked other ways by just using a different appliance. So you don't need an Instant Pot. You also don't need an air fryer. I have an air fryer and I use it some, but I don't typically share air fryer recipes. You will need to be able to cook a couple of things at a time. If you only have a single, a hot plate type burner, then it would be really difficult to do a batch cook. But you could probably adapt some of the recipes and make them work for you. Maybe we could talk more about that. If that's what you're wondering, just let me know. Okay, the next question is, my family is not plant-based. How will this accommodate them? And we've talked a bit about that already. But since we got the question, I wanted to make sure that I answered. And basically, this is what it would look like. Let's say on the meal plan, we're having our veggie pad thai. And it's an oil-free, plant-based. It's kind of like a cheater version. It's not authentic, but it uses regular ingredients. I don't have to go to any special stores. I can get my grocery pickup person can find everything they need. And it's good, and we like it, and a lot of people love it, because sometimes we're going to give you brand new recipes we haven't shared anywhere else, but a lot of times we want to stick to recipes we know that people love, and we want to have a good mix of that, so that those people in the membership get to taste some of the best new things that we haven't shared anywhere else. But we're also going to keep our favorites in the mix as well. So, for example, let's get back to this pad thai. So we're going to give you the instructions to make it just as is, and then we're going to recommend what you can do so that your family who wants to eat meat with every meal can enjoy it too. And a lot of times that will involve, if you cook meat for them, that you would cook it for them in a different pan, so that none of that was touching your food, and that how to combine it. Possibly, we're looking at maybe making the recommendations so that if you're cooking a large amount of meat on batch cook day, that can be used throughout the week, potentially. We want to make it easy. We don't want to make this harder for you. But if you're already trying to eat plant-based and your family is wanting their own mega meat buffet, then it's probably already really hard for you. And we just want to simplify it as much as possible. So that is our mission. So that's what that'll look like. And maybe for some people, that may look like, oh, well, this is oatmeal and nobody eats oatmeal with meat in it, so you don't have to worry about that. Or whatever the case may be. Maybe if it's our lentil tacos, I can show you how I used to use long before we were plant-based, when I was just really into that budget cooking, I used to make a ground beef lentil combo taco because we were feeding 7 people at every meal, and I wanted to stretch those dollars, and the kids didn't really notice so much about the lentil. So maybe it's something like that, to where it's you're having the plant-based version and they're having the tweaked, merged version of but we will get into that, and I'll share for those in the membership more about how that works as we go, and share just new and interesting ideas that I think will make it helpful for you and your family. But that's generally what it'll look like. Okay, let's see. I have one question left, and then I'll see if anyone else left any. Oh, nope, that was my last question. So if you have questions, you can ask them in the comments of this video, and I'll check back along the way. Also, you can just email me if it's not something you want everyone to see. You can email me at myplantbasedfamily@gmail.com or hello@plantbaseddietmealplans.com. Either way, and there's a comment form on that site to make it easier for you, so that you can. Oops, just trying to look for something here, so that you can just put it in a form and not have to type all that out. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it answered your questions. I plan to go live on Saturday to give you more details, so that any other questions that come in, I will answer them then. And just to remind you that Monday's the last day. So you don't want to wait, because if you forget, if something comes up, if you end up having a crazy weekend, like one person was emailing and they were like, oh, we had a house fire. That's not what they planned. Like things happen, life happens. So this isn't something you want to put off, because you will miss your chance. MyPlantBasedFamily.com is not going away. You can still look for recipes, find your meal plans. Look at the old ones. You can make your own. That's totally fine. But if you want to have a done-for-you solution where you don't have to spend time thinking about it, you don't have to spend time answering the questions what you're going to have, you just have me hand you a meal plan, and exactly what to buy, exactly what to cook. It's just a simple solution to make your life easier. Then this is for you. So I will put the link in the comments, and I hope that you will check it out. Have a good night.